guys, what's up? It's Joe Ready from Radio's Rise. We're back here at Walker Ford in Clearwater, Florida, and guess what? I have that redesigned midsize 3-row that's got a twin turbocharged power pack punch. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Ford Explorer ST. But before we get into this performance all-wheel drive SUV from Ford, let's talk about what's going on here. So when it comes to performance SUVs, that's nothing new. And Ford is not the brand that created the first performance SUV. But one thing is certain, with the Explorer being that long-running SUV in their lineup, they decided a couple years ago to bring extra power. Now, when you look at mid-size SUVs, there are, like I said, other performance versions. The thing is, most of them come from those German Euro brands, and most of them have a price tag of $75,000 or more. So what I want to find out is, if you're looking for as much performance as you get, but you don't want to break the bank as well, does this Explorer ST check off all the boxes? Well, let's go ahead, let's dive into this one and find out. Right off the bat, you'll notice the new style for 2025, and I'm gonna point out all of the major changes. And it starts at the front of the business. You're gonna see new headlight design, the housing nicely shaped, all LED, including your daytime running lamp and turn signal. Working your way down, you do have LED fogs, and we have that massive corner air curtain. To be honest, it actually has an aggressive look with the way that they sculpted the lower front fascia, and the fact that you have those functional pieces is really nice. Now, as you come across the tweak grille, you got this gloss black grille with the blue oval badge in the center, of course, forward-facing camera, the ST badge. ST does not stand for street tuner. And ST has been around for a while. It goes back to the Ford Focus ST, the Fiesta ST. It stands for sports technology. That's what it stands for. Now, as we come down, you got the badge, you got more functionality in that lower grille area, and I like the way that they sculpted the lower splitter. A little bit of gloss black, a little bit of flat black, but the great news, fully functional. Now, with this particular one being white, it does have a police vibe to it. And what's interesting is that a lot of what you find on the ST when it comes to suspension, especially the brakes, are plucked right off of those police interceptor Explorers. But let me know what you think about the face of this ST. Now, as we rise up, you have your Explorer name across the front. I would prefer if they embossed the letters into the hood, but they are just stick-ons, sort of like the letters when you're a kid that are magnets that you put on the fridge when you're learning how to spell. It does pop, though, with the pearlescent white. You have a C-shaped indentation in the center, a little bit of rise on each side, but definitely by having the grille come up a little higher, it gives the hood a little bit of a higher appearance to it, which really gives it some strength. Now, when we come around the bend, what are we working with wheel and tire setup? We got all new wheels, 21-inch wheels, that gunmetal flat gray finish. There's those calipers I was telling you about. So they're not Brembos, but those are the upgraded calipers painted bright red from the police interceptor Explorers. So when they're pulling you over, when they're chasing you and all that kind of stuff, the cops that is, their brakes don't overheat. So you're not gonna have a problem with the brakes on your ST. Of course, the enlarged rotors that goes with the larger caliper. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of these tires? 275 on the width, 45 series sidewall. The thing I love about the Explorer, just like the German Euro brands, is that it's rear-wheel drive base. Yes, you could get a two-wheel drive ST with the power just going to the rear, or you could go all-wheel drive. But because it's rear-wheel drive base, it has such better handling dynamics than a front-wheel drive based SUV. The one zonk I have is the flat black. In ST, this needs to be all color matched, so that is a big zonk. Coming down the side, you got gloss black on the mirror caps. I like the way you have the black on the A-pillar, and you'll notice the two-tone, which really sticks out being that police interceptor vibe. because a lot of cop SUVs, the Explorers, are two-tone. So you have your black roof, the rest that pearlescent white. Still have the Explorer name embossed on the lower portion here in flat black, and then that butter knife trim that's gloss black. Coming towards the rear, I like the way they bring this body color into the rear on the side here, and then like the way the black trickles down into the quarter panel. Out back, what do we got going on? You have your LED lighting, all new for 2025. The lighting comes in just a little bit into the trim. I like the way they put the Explorer name in the trim. It's really clean. Get rid of this. Get rid of it. That needs to be underneath this nice long roof spoiler. Of course, you're going to have the ST badge on the back, and then that quad tip exhaust. The only thing that's weird is, remember, they're not functional out the back, they're functional out the bottom. And I know a lot of it had to do with the police interceptors, highway patrol, and everybody else sitting on the side of the road with the engine running. Supposedly fumes were getting into the back cargo area, into the vehicle. My question is, can't you have a better seal? Better weather stripping and everything so that you don't get fumes into the car? The only way to do it is to have the exhaust come out the bottom? I don't like that. So I'm gonna give it a half zunk because they're functional. I just want the exhaust out the back like a normal exhaust pipe. And then of course you have your full towing capability. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop that hood and talk about horsepower of this mid-size SUV. All right guys, we got the hood popped. That prop rod's gotta go. This is a big no-no on a vehicle like this, so that's a zonk. You'll notice that you have the same strut tower brace as you would find on a police interceptor. And then down inside there is that EcoBoost power plant. What do we got? It's a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 putting out 400 horsepower, 415 pound-feet of torque. It's bolted to a 10-speed automatic transmission with the all-wheel drive that ours has, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds flat, quarter mile in 13.6 seconds at 101 miles an hour, top speed 146 miles per hour. MPGs 18 in the city, 25 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 4,788 pounds. Now, besides the brakes and the bracing, you're getting a beefed up radiator from the police interceptor and the suspension. Kind of neat. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 pearlescent white police spec Explorer ST. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, if we're talking about the German Euros and we're talking about how pricey those are, how much is this vehicle? Well, this particular one, remember, is all-wheel drive. You don't have to get an all-wheel drive. They have just rear-wheel drive options as well. Plus, it's got a lot of things you want, like a panoramic sunroof. MSRP for this particular one is $68,000. Yes, it's quite a bit of money, but compared to the German Euros, it's not that bad when you're looking at a $100,000 SUV. But let's see what you get on this new Explorer. To the door panels, love the upgraded materials. Soft touch, that beautiful red stitching, a little bit of silver trim with the Explorer name. We got the B&O sound system with the aluminum speaker grill covers. And then you have a door pocket large enough. If you've ever been at Subway and you're thinking, should I get a cold cut combo or trio? Get both of them because you could fit 2 12-inch subs in there and a large bottle of Mountain Dew Code Pink to wash it down. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, you have your sound bar. This isn't just cloth for cloth's sake. It's the B&O sound bar speaker system. Explorer name, love this black trim, red stitching, even on the side here looking good. Slide on in, you got your all new 13.1 inch infotainment system screen. The good news is it's got everything that you want, including ambient lighting. You could adjust all the ambient lighting in here. You could also have your full app store. You could watch YouTube, play video games, all that stuff on your infotainment system. Even things like hill descent control, and of course, bringing up your vehicle status here. But nice to have that very intuitive system, very quick reacting, dual climate, heated seats and ventilated seats. The problem is it's all on the screen. But let me show you. I'm going to put in reverse. Nice clear resolution. You got your trajectory lines, you got your 360. So they do a good job, or at least on this one, updating the cameras. Now working your way down, you have your quick access buttons. You can shut off the pesky auto start stop feature. You have wireless charging and a place where you could put, I would say, 4 Kit Kats. Down on the side, besides the stitching, we have a little bit of a nook here. This is where you could put some long Slim Jims, those ones that you get at the grocery store. I like the flat black. This rotary dial is going to control your 10-speed, automatic, open up the door. You got tons of storage in there, a 12-volt, a USB-C, USB-A, and you could put, I would say, about 7 to 8 Pop-Tarts in here. Make mine strawberry. 2 cup holders. What's kind of cool as well is that you do have an ST key fob with remote start. You got your drive modes, place for a Twinkie, soft touch with the stitching, open it up, 2 more USB-Cs, so you got lots of connectivity, and there's enough room. I would say you could easily put 25 CDs in there, in the case. I remember back in the 90s and early 2000s, we used to have our CDs in a case that went to the visor, or like a big book. Those were the days. Those were the days. Seats, the leather, Alcantara, nice bolstering, full electric assist for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver. You got a black headliner, thank God, and a power shade for your panoramic sunroof. So nice to have all of that in this particular model. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the special wheel in this ST. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. We do have 3 memory seat settings for the driver's seat. Love the Ford Performance badge. And then the pedal box is sad. It should have aluminum pedals, especially aluminum dead pedals. So that's a zonk. Easy to get to the seat controls. Lower the seat a little bit. I'm 6 feet tall. Plenty of room in here. Plenty of room. And then on top of that, you have massage seats. Massage! So you can rip the twisty bits and get a massage while you're driving. You could maybe do that on some of the 100,000 plus SUVs that this competes with. Steering wheel, I love the leather, the red crisscross applesauce baseball stitching, the ST badge, flat black on the switchgear. This thing is for Blue Cruise. This does have the autonomous hands-free driving known as Blue Cruise. You do have paddles on the back of the wheel. I wish they were a little bit larger and made out of metal for the 10-speed automatic. And it's a powered tilting telescoping wheel. And then of course you have that 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. You can scroll through a cornucopia of different information and your different modes, which is cool. But nice to have that full digital screen. The one thing it's missing is a head-up display. I'm surprised they didn't put that in this vehicle. But let's get into the mid-row and the third row, because I want to take you for a spin in this Explorer ST. All right, guys, mid-row and third row, we're gonna do it. Love the way the mid-row has the Alcantara, the leather just like up front, the red stitching. This is an armrest. The German Euros don't know how to make a captain's chair armrest. I'm sorry, they're way too thin. This is a proper armrest. Love the way you got the pockets back here. You can keep some books, maybe 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I love that book, or the Time Machine. And then you have your command center here, AC controls, temperature, heated seats, but no ventilated seats. I'm gonna zonk that at $68,000 on this Ford. 2 USB-Cs, a home power source. Whoop, wham bam, thank you ma'am. There's 2 cup holders. I feel like your kids are gonna break that in 5 milliseconds leaving the dealership. You even have security shades, AC vents up nice and high. Love my armrest. Seats, they slide, they recline, and then we're gonna do this all in one shot. Steven hates it when we do this. I love it. So if you look up top here, you have this little lever. Watch this. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm gonna slide. I break my wrist. Now we're in the third row. Now the zonk is they don't use the same material. This is vinyl. And they do give you red stitching, which is nice, but this is vinyl. Come on, man, use the same materials. You sit kind of, I feel like I'm about to do cannonball into a pool. Like what I want to do to Steven so bad is I want Steven to be like laying on a raft, sunbathing, because he likes to tan his back, and just like jump into the pool and cannonball him. That's what I want to do. But I feel like I'm in that position, which it's okay. It's not my favorite, but I've been in worse, trust me. 2 USB-Cs, a banana holder, so I don't have to hold my banana in my hand. I mean, at least get somebody else to hold your banana or put it in the holder. But why don't we go ahead? Let's get in the cargo area because I want to go for a spin in this Explorer. All right, guys, time to get in the cargo area. Obviously, having performance is one thing. Also, having usability is another. Nice electric assist. I put the third row up. I left it up so that you have a good idea of how much room we have. That's 16 cubic feet of space. Now, it's kind of nice that they have these nooks on both sides. This is where you could keep your vinyl collection. So if you have, you know, some Beatles, some Lynyrd Skynyrd, you know, whatever you're listening to, maybe some Queen, you could keep your vinyl collection in there. Plus, you could have your record player and some portable speakers in the back area. So now, wouldn't that be cool, showing up somewhere and playing some good old vinyl? Maybe it doesn't sound as clear as digital music, but it just has a better feel. Now, when it comes to putting down the seats, you have to manually put down the headrest. Come on, you could do it. There we go. But what's nice is you do have power folding rear seats, and it's a nice one-touch operation. Look at that, 50-50 split. And then in the back, you do have on the passenger side 2 USB-Cs, plus you got a 12 volt, so you could power your record player with your speakers. But nice to have that usable space. Now, that's 47 cubic feet of space. You put down the mid row, you're looking at 87 cubic feet of space. But why don't we go ahead? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a little spin to the record store and pick up some new vinyl in our Explorer ST. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Explorer ST with that twin turbo V6, and of course you have that amazing all-wheel drive system. Now, right away going down the road, great visibility, easy to get to that 13.1-inch infotainment system screen. There is sound being pumped in through the B&O sound system, but it's nothing too fake, and it kind of just helps with the overall experience. I think with some of the German brands like BMW, the pumped in sound is just, it's too overly done. With the Explorer ST, they got the balance right. Love the digital gauge cluster. You could change out all the information, which is great. And I love the storage in here. Tons of storage space, great materials. They updated the materials, and I like the way they brought this midsection out like a tongue, like you're saying because now you could get to your phone and your candy bars and stuff much easier than before. It's not a reach. On top of that, we do have, don't forget, massage seats, so I could do this review, go on throttle, and get the full massage action going as well. I could also, if I want to, bring the map into my display here. So there it is, nicely done in the digital gauge cluster, which is great. So lots of flexibility and versatility to how you want your information laid out. 10-speed shifts great. They kind of programmed the transmission, how it's going to shift, when it's going to shift. So going up the gears and down the gears, very, very smooth. It's not chasing through the gears. And for it being a mid-size 3-row SUV, it's surprisingly very, very balanced. And that's another nice aspect of having it on this rear-wheel drive platform, even though ours is all-wheel drive. Having the beefed up brakes gives you better pedal feel, and you know that the brakes aren't going to overcook. And I've driven this Explorer ST on an autocross track, it's gonna shock you how well the all-wheel drive system works. It does a great job. Obviously, power goes to the rear, and then power will be sent to the front wheels when needed. Guys, pulling away from the light. Even though this is a mid-size 3-row, it's actually quite easy to maneuver, believe it or not, which is really nice as well. A lot of it has to do with that great chassis work that they've done with this vehicle. Let me put my phone in the charger here. There we go. See how it's just easy access right there? And then we're gonna go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. Drops down and we're off. And you're gonna get up to speed very, very quickly in this vehicle. I'm gonna go ahead and press M to manually shift with the paddles. You do get a small gear indicator. I wish it was a little bit larger. And it would be nice if when you were in sport mode, you got a totally unique display of information. But even with the 21-inch wheels, it rides very well. It's not too harsh of a ride. You are getting some wind noise and some road noise, but that's to be expected with the sportier intentions of the Explorer ST. And then we have the full safety suite, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, all those goodies. And this car also has Blue Cruise. But let's see how she handles, because that's where it's going to be really surprising. Really nice. On the brakes. Look at this. Here we go. Really balanced, controlled. On throttle, here we go! Nice fast shifts. Brakes feel good. You're able to shed speed like a German Shepherd sheds hair. That's how quickly you're able to shed it. But let's see how she handles here. We're gonna go on throttle from a dead stop if we can, or at least a slow roll. Let's do a slow roll. On throttle, here we go. On the brakes. Here we go, look at this. Yeah! Nice. You're not getting a ton of body roll. They really tuned the suspension to handle very well, and it makes sense because being on a police interceptor setup, they're gonna want you to be able to corner very well in this thing, and you really can attack the corners in this Explorer ST, and that adds value to the price that this is listed as. Nice smooth downshifts, look at that. Look at this. On throttle! You can hear the pumped in sound. Like I said, it's nothing too obnoxious. It would be nice if the exhaust made more sound. At least in an ST. You got your King Ranch, you got your active trim. Let it be quieter in those trims. This needs to have a little bit more personality. But when it comes to driving, that's where the personality really shines through. On the brakes. Look at this. Look at the way it handles. Unbelievable. Especially when you compare it to the German Euro brands. It's really gonna surprise the heck out of you. And then when you're done ripping the twisty bits, you can go pick up the kids from school. And nobody's the wiser. You got your different modes. We could change our modes here. Go into normal, which is like your comfort mode. And nobody knows what you've been doing. So hopefully this has been a good, quick overall review of what the Explorer ST is bringing. We're gonna get back to Walker Ford and wrap this one up. So I'll see you
in a split second.
All right, guys, been another fun day in so many ways here at Walker Ford. Definitely got to thank Western Walker, Frank Walker, and Tracy getting us access to this redesigned ST trim of the Explorer. Let me know what you think. Most affordable? Check off the boxes for the money? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Wise family. Got to give it to Stephen Flood. He's working out. He's doing this new competition where he's throwing bowling balls down mountains. So he's going to be going over to Mount Kilimanjaro to throw a bowling ball down the mountain. Let's keep our fingers crossed that he brings home the gold. So thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.